Hello everyone, it's Grumpy Gamer. Welcome back to another Tekkit tutorial. Now this tutorial here is going to be more for beginner to intermediate players. It might still be good for advanced players just to get an idea, but here's our problem. We want to make rubber and we want to make it really fast. This chest right here is storing rubber. I could fill this whole, with this machine I have right here, I can fill this whole chest up in like a couple minutes. So here's the problem you normally have with rubber. It has no EMC value, so you can't use the equivalent exchange to make rubber. However, you can use the equivalent exchange to make resin. So this machine right here is going to take resin and convert it into rubber, and the setup I've got is the fastest way I've ever found to do it. Alternately, if you're on a server where equivalent exchange is disabled or you just don't like to use equivalent exchange, you can replace this chest right here. This is what's going to generate the resin very rapidly, but if you don't want to do it this way, you can replace this. You can put a rubber tree farm out here somewhere and just feed the output into this machine and it'll work fine. So let me show you how this works. First of all, we have an alchemical chest. Now alchemical chest turns items into whatever you want. So if I put, like, say an energy condenser in the top left corner, it's right now it's converting all this resin into EMC, and when this bar fills up it's going to create an energy condenser. So we actually want to use this machine to create sticky resin, so we put that in the top left corner. All that EMC instantly got converted back into resin. So here's how I do it on this machine. This machine will make rubber very rapidly, but occasionally you got to throw like a diamond in this chest. One diamond will make a ton of resin because diamond has an EMC value of like 8,000, resin has an EMC value of 24. So like one diamond will make like, I don't remember, 20 or 30 stacks of rubber or something ridiculous like that. But anyway, once we have the resin, next thing we need to do is figure out how to get it into the extractor. The extractor is going to turn it into rubber. It will take one piece of resin and turn it into 3 pieces of rubber. So the best way to pull it out is I just use a filter. Now you may not be familiar with redpower 2. This is all redpower 2 stuff. If you're not, this tutorial is going to teach you how to use it. Use this part of it to do this machine. Basically, this is a filter. It has an input and an output. The input is the side with the big plus sign, and the output has the dot. So this thing needs redstone signal to pull stuff out. So in other words, if I give it a redstone pulse, it'll pull stuff out of whatever it's connected to. So down here I have it connected to this chest, so every time we pulse this filter, it's going to pull some resin out. Now it's programmable. You can tell how much you want it to pull out. Right now I want it to pull out 21 pieces of resin at a time. That might seem like an oddball amount, but basically here's the reason. One piece of resin will be converted into 3 pieces of rubber, so 3 times 21 is 63. The most the filter will pull out at one time is 64, so basically that's it. I pull out 21 pieces of resin and it will get converted into more or less a stack of rubber, and that's how that works. But once again, you can program it. We got it programmed to pull out 21 pieces of resin. So whenever this thing gets a pulse, it'll pull out a stack of 21. So how do we pulse it? Well, we have this circuit right here. It's called a timer. It's fully adjustable. Right now I have it set for 3/4 of a second. So every 3/4 of a second this stuff will get a pulse. And so if you see the facing on it, this little pointer is pointing up. This side and this side, they'll act as either an input or an output. So this side right here is an output right now. This side is an input. But let's go ahead and turn this on. Now it's going to generate pulses every 0.75 seconds. You can sit pulling the resin out and it gets cooked very fast. Now here's another filter. This one is programmed to pull out rubber, and I want you to see how fast this machine goes. We're basically going to get a stack of rubber like once every second or two. If this chest was completely empty, it's going to fill this up in just a few minutes. So what do we need all this rubber for? Well, it's for making solar panels, especially HV solar arrays. It takes a massive amount of rubber to make this stuff. So this machine is the fastest setup I've found. You could do the same thing with Buildcraft, but here's the thing about Buildcraft. People usually use redstone engines because for a machine like this, steam engines and combustion engines are a hassle. They can blow up. You got to worry about fuel, that kind of thing. So most people use redstone engines. Well, here's the thing about redstone engines. You can only get 4 redstone engines around a pipe, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then the sides. And when those engines are fully heated, they'll pull out 1 item per tick. So you're basically, with 4 of them, you're going to get 4 items per tick. Well, as you can see right here, we're getting 21 items in under a second. And in theory, I could set this to about half a second, and I could set this for a full stack. We could get 2 stacks out of a chest per second with the redpower 2, so you can see it's many times faster. Redpower 2 also has a lot of other advantages. For one, it's a lot less buggy, it causes less server lag, it won't throw your stuff out on the ground either, so it's all pretty handy. Now you may notice this item right here, that's called a cover. That's actually a stone cover. Let me show you how to make a cover. Very simple. Basically, you put a saw up here. You can either make a diamond hand saw or a ruby or whatever hand saw, but you put it at the top and put the whatever you want to cut up beneath it, and that's going to make 2 slabs. Feed it back in. That will make 4 panels. Feed it back in one more time, and that will make 4 covers, and covers are what we're using here. So we just have a cover right there, and the reason we need the cover because without the cover, this tube right here would connect to this extractor. Now that is a pneumatic tube. That's your basic pipe for redpower. Redpower only has 3 types of pipes. If you use Buildcraft, you know there's like 10, maybe 15 types of pipes. You only need 3 types of pipes for redpower. It's a lot smarter, so you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. But by the way, this is red alloy wire. It goes on top of the filters. Now to get the wire on top of the filter, if you were just to like say put it right here, and then I have the red alloy wire selected on my hotbar. If I just right click, it's going to open the filter. So if you actually want to replace the wire, hold down the shift key, and there you go. That's how you place the wire. But as far as the extractor goes, I'm running these things off high voltage, which is the power coming off an MFSU. And so I have to have transformer upgrades. I have 2 of them in there. You want to make sure and put 2 transformer upgrades. You want to make sure and put at least 1 energy storage upgrade. And then you want to put some overclockers in there. Now the overclockers, how many you want to put varies. One of my thing about Tekkit is I like my machines to run extremely fast. It's kind of like an RPG where you just level up your machines. But anyway, I've got 16 overclockers in here. That's a lot of overclockers. And basically every time you put an overclocker in a machine, it increases the power requirements for that machine by like 60 or 70 or 80%. I don't remember the exact number, but every time you add 1 more overclocker, you have to add a lot more power to the machine. So right now I have 8 MFSUs feeding this thing, and then I have a lot of HV solar arrays. There's 15 of them here. You don't need that many. You can probably get away with just 1, maybe even less than that, like maybe 4 or 5 MV arrays. But you do need all these MFSUs if you want to run 16 overclockers. Now you don't have to use that many overclockers. What you can do is I have this machine set to run really fast. If you don't have the materials to do this, what you can do is just put 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 overclockers in there, whatever, and the machine will run just the same. You don't have to change anything. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to take it much longer to make a stack of stuff. But you know, if you've got more time than resources, like say you can have 4 or 5 overclockers in there, and you can just walk away and come back in an hour and you'll have a chest full of whatever. But anyway, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. It's how to make a stack of rubber in like a second or 2. So it's very useful. This is how I do it. I like to make HV arrays. I make them by hand with project tables. It takes me like 30 minutes, but it takes 30 or 40 stacks of rubber or something like that, I think. So this setup right here, this is what I use to get my rubber. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It helps my channel. But also too, if a video gets a lot of likes, I know people want to see more videos of that type. So anyway, I also recommend you subscribing if you haven't already, because I make a lot of tutorials, and some of them are very advanced, some of them not so advanced. I make them for all skill levels. Like here's the last tutorial I did. This is an advanced tutorial. This is how to make an elevator as realistic as possible. All this right here is logic gates and stuff, and you can see it's very complicated. But I also make very simple ones, like how to make a sunroof open and close at night. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, Grumpy Gamer, we'll see you next time. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the upvotes on Reddit, and I appreciate all the likes on YouTube.